TJ Holmes and Amy Robach discuss marriage prospects and share the moment they realized their friendship had turned romantic in a recent podcast episode. The pair is being open and honest about their plans for the future of their union. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach never say never when it comes to getting married. Even though they don't currently have any plans to remarry, the couple is talking about the pragmatic reasons they're keeping it under consideration. In Tuesday's iHeartRadio episode of Amy and TJ, the couple responded to fan questions that were hand-picked by their producers. According to Robach and Holmes, they were not informed of the questions in advance. They were questioned about their intentions to get married at one time. "We didn't start dating just to have fun or to see what might happen," stated Robach. "The reason we got into this relationship is that we want to live a lifetime together. Therefore, I'm not sure if we have a legal, I dunno, button on it or whatever." Prior to her marriage to Andrew Shue, Robach was married twice to Tim McIntosh, with whom she had 2 daughters. Holmes had previously been married to Amy Ferson and Marilee Fiebig. Holmes is a father of 3 kids. "We both have 2 marriages under our belts, and so it's not something we're racing or rushing towards, but there is something, I get it," Robach said. "I'm not even sure why this urge exists. However, I want to be with you for the rest of my life." "But you don't want to marry me," joked Holmes. "It's on the table," Robach retaliated. Holmes answered in a more forthright manner. "I'm 46 and you're 50, he said. "I'm very sick of introducing you, a 50-year-old woman. This is my girlfriend." "That just sounds stupid. But thank you for noting the age difference," remarked Robach in jest. "Thank you for that. Lucky for us, when we actually meet people, we don't have to introduce ourselves as TJ, my boyfriend," she continued. "They are already aware. That is behind us now. We don't really need to use that language, just as we don't really need to introduce ourselves to one another." Since debuting their podcast earlier this month, Robach and Holmes have been transparent about the chronology of their relationship. They have previously stated that with the start of their respective husbands' divorce processes last summer, their professional connection took a romantic turn. They're now going into more detail about the specifics of that time period, and how they developed from buddies to something more. When a fan asked Holmes how they fell in love, he said that at first they kept their feelings to themselves. He went on, "We didn't discuss it because I'm sitting over here thinking, Lord, this has been a fantastic friendship. I don't need to ruin it by telling her that I have feelings for her that go beyond friendship. Thus, we kind of avoided it." Robach claimed that anticipating the weekdays on the set of Good Morning America, where she and her co-anchor, GMA3, had previously worked, was a clear indication of her emotional state. "We didn't want it to end because we were spending so much time together at work," she recalled. "We used to say, oh, Fridays are a bummer, I recall. Since Fridays usually make people happy, isn't that right? Because you get to spend the weekend at home," Holmes added. "But that means we couldn't see each other again until Monday. The majority of folks always felt that Mondays were ugh," Robach said. "And we were excited about Mondays." Robach hinted that Holmes was the one who initially said "I love you" to the woman early in their romance. Holmes acknowledged that he was the one to do so. "TJ told me he loved me before he even held my hand," she stated. "I don't think I've ever had that experience before in my life where it was an emotional connection that we acknowledged before anything physical ever happened, and that was pretty amazing." Prior to their abrupt termination from ABC News in late 2022 and the ensuing public backlash, Holmes and Robach both voiced a need for the public to comprehend the breadth of their relationship. This connection had been developed over almost 10 years. "I wish folks had a better understanding of the past 8 years before we started dating, an understanding of the foundation that we had built," Holmes said. "People observed our camaraderie behind the scenes and our on-air chemistry. Together, we were so ludicrous that it was annoying." Robach repeated, "We were the kids in the class who had to be separated by the teacher, always." Holmes went on, "I think that disgusted us most," alluding to the response to their relationship. "That something that we were so careful about and so deliberate, and took so much great care in, was being thrown out as just something salacious and tawdry." The couple discussed headlines surrounding their courtship and their first public appearances together on last week's podcast, but they refrained from addressing the relationship between their ex-partners, Marilee Fiebig and Andrew Shue, not mentioning their ex-spouses specifically. Holmes remarked, "There were other headlines this week with agendas, and we absolutely anticipated that was going to happen. We are powerless to address those. However, we are dedicated to creating a space free of gossip with this location, podcast, and platform. We're not going to respond angrily to headlines here. We won't engage in such back and forth since rumors are poisonous."